Now that you've been properly prepared, it's time to get started. As you probably already know, your computer's disk is represented to you through a system of files and folders. When you use an app like Finder, you can click around and drill down through folders to look at different files. When you're at the command line, it's a lot like being in a Finder window, but instead of using a graphical interface, you use a text-based interface instead. Alright, so now that we've learned how to learn more about new commands, let's go ahead and move on to a few more. The first one we should know about is called pwd. This stands for Present Working Directory, and it just shows you where on the file system you actually are right now. When you're at the command line, you can kind of think of yourself as currently being in some folder. So go ahead and type pwd, and then hit return. And here we can see I'm at /users/Luke Parham. This is what's known as my home directory, and as you can see up here on the left side, I have a little tilde here. So this actually shows my present directory, and the tilde can stand as a replacement for the /users/Luke Parham. Then once you know where you are, it's kind of nice to know what else is in this directory with you. So to figure that out, you can use the ls command. This stands for list. Go ahead and type ls and hit enter. And here you can see what you'd kind of expect. There's my desktop, my documents folder, my library folder. And with the command line, you can go into any of these folders and, manipulate files and do whatever you need to do. Now that we know this new command, let's go ahead and use man to learn a little more about it. So type in man and then space ls and hit return. And like before, we go into this document and we have the name of the command, the synopsis, and the description. And if we scroll down a little bit, we see a few interesting options. One that sticks out right away is the -a option. Using this option will allow you to see any files that begin with the dot symbol. These are also known as hidden files. Usually in Finder you can't see any files that start with dot unless you specifically change that setting on your Mac. Let's go ahead and hit Q to get out of here. And let's try ls again, but this time with the A flag. And now we see quite a few more files in here. We have this dot and dot dot in the top left. And these are kind of special files. The dot stands for this current directory. And then the dot dot stands for the directory above us, or the folder that our folder is inside of. A lot of times these dot files are going to be configuration files. So here we can see .bashrc, this is a bash configuration file. We have git config, we have our .vim folder, .gem. Now, once your screen's gotten a little cluttered and you've done a few commands, a lot of times you'll want to empty your screen and go back to the way it was. To do this, you can use something called the clear command. So just type in clear and hit return, and you go back to the blank slate you had before. Now that we know how to see what files and folders are in our current folder, it's important to know how to get around. To do that, we'll use the cd command. So real quick, let's do ls again to see what our options are. And then let's say we want to go into the downloads folder. To do that, we would type cd, this stands for change directory, and then space, and then capital D. And then once we've typed a few letters, we can actually hit tab and do an autocomplete. And then once you have that, go ahead and hit enter. And now you can see my path has changed to ~/downloads. Now do ls again to see what's in this folder. Looks like we've got the new Xcode beta and a few other things. Finally, if you want to get back to your home directory, no matter where you are in your system, you can just go ahead and type cd. And then if you don't specify a path, it'll go back to your home directory. So hit enter, and we're back where we started. Since that was a lot of information to go over all at once, let's go back over what we just learned. To see where you're currently at, you can use the pwd command, and this stands for Present Working Directory. To list all the files and folders in the current directory, you can use the ls command, and then to move to one of the other folders, you can use the cd command. Finally, to clear your screen, you can use the excellently named clear command. Now that you've mastered navigation, you can move on to the next video to learn how to create and destroy your own files and folders.